Yeah.
There you go. Hey, welcome everybody. This is Wing Chun Talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where, other Wing Chun channels out there might bring you all kinds of action. We bring you all kinds of talk. How you doing? I hope everything's okay. How you doing?
Good.
Johan?
Yeah. How are you?
All right. This is Wing Chun Talk. I'm your host, C-Fu-Z. That's Johan, like he said.
How you doing?
And that's Luna, of course. She, of course, is going to make all kinds of noise as soon as we start recording. Yeah, she wants to say hi by way of making noise. Oh, don't give me that look. He's giving me that look. So today we are going to talk about elaborate on that game A, game B stuff.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, you might be wondering, what are these things? What are these things? What is this stuff? And if you said, oh, they got GoPros now, you'd be partially right.
Right.
These are called Ape Man action cameras. This particular model is the A7-9. Is that right? A7-9? Mm-hmm. Yeah, can you read that?
Yeah.
You still have enough of your vision? Yes, the A7-9. And it's sort of, I hate to say comparable because I've never owned a GoPro.
No, that's my first
thing, yeah. But apparently there's sort of the knockoff of the GoPro.
Mm-hmm.
And this has Wi-Fi capabilities. Apparently it can shoot at 4K, but I'm getting the best footage at 1080p.
Mm-hmm.
But that might be because I'm just working with YouTube
Right.
footage.
Looked really good from what I saw. Test run.
Yeah.
Nice.
And we got some exciting. We chose to do the Wing Chun Talk at probably the loudest and busiest time of the day.
Yes,
right.
Sort of starts happening.
9 o'clock. The town starts to come alive. Denver starts to come alive.
This little section.
So you can get to the features and operate the camera from your mobile device, and you can also operate it from a little wrist shunt. You got yours on? Yeah. And from here, you can rather take a picture, start the camera. I expected the software for this to be, atrocious, and it's fine. Been able to function. The functionality of the cameras are very easy. Have you messed with it much?
No, not much.
Okay.
I haven't had time yet.
Yeah. I've read the manual a few times and have gone through every feature. I guess that's maybe what defines a geek. Maybe. A geek is like somebody that actually, well, thank you. That's not it. It is details.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to know what certain acronyms are? For instance, there's the EIS acronym. You know what that means?
No.
Doesn't even make sense, but it's the image stabilization.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It should be E something, like image stabilization something.
Image.
There's some drama going on behind us that might be more interesting than our review on the Ape Man. Maybe we should go out there and get some footage.
Oh yeah.
With our Ape Man footage.
Sure, they would love that.
I certainly like the term Ape Man instead of GoPro.
Yeah.
Ape Man. Yeah, let's go get some Ape Man footage.
I like that.
Yeah. So I've gotten some footage from this already, and on the scooter. I did some scooter footage just now, and I'll probably post that up online before the night's over. And seems pretty good.
Right? Pretty smooth. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I just saw it on the small screen, but I can't wait to see it. And then tomorrow, get out there and go all over the place.
Yeah, we're going to do a ride.
Yeah.
2 camera action.
Oh, we're going to have to.
2 scooter, 2 camera action. 2 Wing Chun, 2 camera.
What can't go wrong? Yeah? It's going to be fun.
So, yeah, the audio, I'm not quite sure if the audio is, I thought it would be really quiet, but it seems like it's picking up the audio pretty well with the dust casing. You know?
Okay,
yeah, this is an underwater casing, but if you change the back, it just becomes a dust casing and allows the audio, the microphone to be picked up. So, yeah, it seemed maybe a little too much. I turned down what appeared to be volume. I don't know if that's the volume of the playback or the volume of the record, but we'll find out on the next video. Hopefully it's for the record. I have a sneaky suspicion it isn't, but I'll play around with it some more and see. It might be a better idea to put the waterproof case on and see how the audio is then. It might
try both. Yeah,
might kind of offer a certain amount of wind block or something. I don't know. So we'll see. We will see when we put it up. We'll both be able to see. So game A, game B. Items like these, and we'll probably bring the scooters into the action pretty soon here. We kind of didn't we in an episode?
Yeah,
we did. Well,
was it for a lesson?
Yeah, we got to put links.
Yeah,
for that as well. And we'll put links to this as well because this is like, I don't know, $200-$300 type GoPro device for $57.
Yeah, it was 55 bucks there. Yeah.
So we'll put a link down there, and our affiliate links will start working with any of that. We'll try. We'll put the link up on for this anyway. Yeah. Just cross our fingers. When you buy from, click on those links, and if you get the product from us, or if you click on that link, and apparently if you get anything after you click from there, we get some sort of something or another.
Right.
I don't know.
I'm so new to this, but they say within 24 hours.
Yeah.
One thing I heard, but
no,
I don't know if it's accurate.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah.
But if and of course we're not going to be pushing junk or anything. We're well, at least not horrible junk.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, the so far so good with this. Other than the audio, I'm really pleased with it. Again, I don't have much to to compare it against.
Right.
But I have my years of cameras and phones and so I think it's for the price. I think it's like what would we get with this? $57 and then another $34 for the harness outfit and everything.
Yep.
Yeah. And this harness kit that you can get, it's separate from this, but it has every imaginable connection device for water, for a head, for handlebars,
floating device,
for dash cam, so the functionality of this, I'm really stoked with it, and I think we're going to get a lot of good use out of it. Hopefully, it's an Amazon choice thing, so chances are it might last. That's what you hope that will last, right? So yeah,
We're gonna put it to use tomorrow.
yeah,
We'll see.
we'll
Bring
see.
all the batteries. And
Yeah. Yeah. So we might, with all of this stuff, we should probably do a part 2. So this is the introduction of it and our first impressions sort of a thing. Right. And say, yeah, it works. And at this particular point in time, we paid $57 for it. And it's the knockoff on the GoPro. And yeah, so far, all the functionality.
We'll come back.
It's easy to get to the functionality. Everything that it says it does on the box, it does. And it does quite easily. Unlike the scooter app. Man, the scooter apps for the Segway Max really suck.
Oh, yeah. I never really started using it. I turned it on first day, but
yeah,
after that, I've just been riding.
Yeah, well, luckily you don't actually need it. I mean, to ride it, it's you need it to access certain functionality. But once you access it, then you're good to go.
Right. Yeah.
Or
the initial.
Hopefully. Yeah. But yeah, for the most part, you don't need the app for to ride the thing. Yeah, as you can imagine, GoPro, scooters, Wing Chun. That's right. We're going to be getting out and about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we're going to be doing some Wing Chun out in the park. We're going to be doing some Wing Chun out in the mountains.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what all this gear is about.
Yeah.
And thanks in part to you guys for your contributions. Those of you that have subscribed, even if you haven't necessarily contributed financially, your subscriptions, your thumbs ups, your likes, your comments all help us to bring this content to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thanks. And so with that said, if you want to learn more about, if you're new to this whole thing, if you want to learn more, sifuz.com is the place to be. SIFUZZ.com, not ZED.
No.
That's so confusing.
Z.
Yeah, sifuz.com for more information. If you want to practice, train in Kung Fu, and you want to train with us specifically, you can start training with us for as little as $1 a month, just $1 a month. And you can do that over at patreon.com/sifuz. If you're a fan of what we do here and you'd like to contribute, you can make a one-time contribution for any amount over at paypal.me/ I believe on PayPal, I'm not quite sure if it needs to be spelled exactly like uppercase, lowercase, because with PayPal, it's paypal.me/sifuz, but I spell it capital S and then IFU or uppercase Z. So all one word, Sifuz.
Yeah.
But I'm not quite sure if that's necessary. We're going to have to find out.
Yeah, let's find out.
Because that's a lot of words to say uppercase, lowercase, uppercase.
Yeah, let's find that out.
So, yeah, we'll have a link to this down in the description. And we're going to get an exhaustive list of the gear that we use in order to do this show, because all of this gear, or almost all of it, because not everybody wants to do a podcast and have
the Wing Chun gear,
condenser mics and stuff. Yeah. But lavalier mics, definitely, for training online, lavalier mics. Lights, and of course whatever your online device is, hopefully it has a camera or something. Now here's where these come in. You might not want to go out and get action cams with your 8-man, right? But at the price for $57 comes with 2 extra batteries. Batteries apparently last for an hour. I haven't used it that long yet. Right. You can also use these as a webcam because they connect through the Wi-Fi. So that's really cool. Yeah, and again, it's easy to access. You just plug it in, and choose. It has 3 or 4 options. One of them is webcam. So you just press webcam, boom, pops up. You use this webcam. We might even use ours as a webcam.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure if these are better resolution than what we're getting from the laptop.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, let's try both and see what they think.
Yeah, we might
Class.
it might
maybe
get
tonight.
better. So, and part of the harness kit, you get the little Gorilla Grip tripod that you can, little fingers, octopus fingers you can wrap around stuff. So again, you can just have that on the tabletop and use this as your webcam in case your webcam A sucks, is broken, or you don't have one.
Right.
Some especially you might have a laptop with no webcam.
Right.
So this would be a perfect.
Great
I mean, and instead of buying a separate like webcam, man, to get one of these, that's a no-brainer for $57.
Yeah.
Because you got so many things you can do with this other than just webcam.
Right.
Yeah. So now we were going. Oh, there's Luna drinking her water. I wonder if they can hear that. Can you guys hear that? Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm sure you hear it. Yeah. She makes she's like quiet all day. Doesn't make a noise all day. It's right when we are getting up and doing it. It's like it's her time to make noise too. I can't stop her. I don't want to stop her. Yeah, I mean she's got just as much right to make noise as we do.
She seems to like it here.
Yeah.
So space.
Old paradigm, new paradigm. Game A, game B. What's it all about? What's your take on game A, game B? Not you, Luna. I'm talking to Johan.
Well, no, it's interesting that you really I can see the transition now. So can everybody else. But I think for me, especially one thing now when all the sport is canceled, there's almost no competition out there. And the rivalry from game A, it's really interesting that going forward, be less competitive and work together more instead of trying to have more than your neighbor. And
if there was ever any doubt, oh come on, Luna, you knock everything over. Come on, stop. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down.
So I think big changes now are.
Yeah, if there was ever any doubt, if being competitive and doing the whole us and them,
right,
and the whole limited resources, certainly so much that can go around kind of approach. Of course, the numbers, the logic. If you ever worked at a hotel, you see the waste. You see how much food is thrown away. So,
absolutely.
So I mean, just the logic. But even if you could, through some abstraction, justify that, and therefore throw doubt into if this is a good thing or a bad thing. Or if it's true or untrue, even let's just say true or untrue, right? Well, it's true now.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, being divided and not coming together during a time of any sort of worldwide epidemic or issue is just would seem to be the wrong thing.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. It almost forced the issue of cooperation and congeniality and hygiene.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. That's a thing too, because hygiene is part of it for sure, right? I mean, you can be the nicest person, but I don't know. That maybe I think might be silly. I might be silly. Sorry, guys. Might be silly. There's the motorcycle. Motorcycle.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, now she's upset that I told her to go lay down. Even though she's not going to lay down, she's going to lay there by our feet.
She wanted to be.
Yeah. So now we're gonna have to work this out. There's gonna have to be a compromise. I ain't going anywhere. So game A, game B. So what would you say game A is?
But as far as old paradigm or the
Yeah. What
Chasing
is
for
old paradigm?
money.
What is game A in your perspective? In your thinking?
Well, it's pretty much what just that whole competitive thing, you know, the money and success and the career and the winning and then you sit there at the end of the hunt and not worth it.
Interesting.
You get forced upon us, so it's just so deep in our nature.
I
My
wonder.
generation.
I wonder how true this is now, right? Competition. Maybe it's a certain kind of competition that might be right or wrong or good or bad or more or less advantageous. I was using the term slave culture for game A, old paradigm.
Right.
And it seems like we're transitioning to a creative culture.
Yeah, let's hope so.
I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
Think about it. Everybody's got a supercomputer that they can use to make art and imagery and sound and music and
innovation,
communication in various artistic ways and approaches and stuff. So, I mean, it's essentially brought the ability to do art into anybody's hands. Anybody in the sense that if you're not necessarily good at traditional mediums, maybe this is a medium that can help you along and give you some sort of artistic gratification.
Yeah, and this is all new to me, so I'm kind of jumping in, as you know.
Yeah, you're getting into the internet worlds and the video and then eventually the editing and stuff like that. Yeah. It's coming up.
It's time to learn new things.
Yeah. So we'll be able to bring you some really nice stuff pretty soon. Yeah, relatively soon. I'm not going to put too much pressure on Johan because he's got to get his computer and then kind of sort of hunker down with it for a while and learn it and get it down. But it's not a big deal. It's I think simply because you have a phone and everybody knows how.
Right.
You know how.
No, it'll be a fun challenge.
Everything has the same interface almost.
With it, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, putting the time in.
Yeah.
So, old paradigm, slave paradigm, over competitiveness paradigm. How about that over competitiveness? Yeah. Because competitiveness it's a good thing, and there it has been a good thing. I'm not talking about sports. Although some might even argue that that's good, but I don't know.
It brings a lot of joy to people. I can only imagine now people that are way into sports. I mean, big empty space right now.
Yeah,
I don't think much is going on.
Yeah, certain sports are pretty much dead in the water right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, heck, if we made sport of our Wing Chun Chi Sao, we'd be pretty dead in the water too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And the poor
absolutely.
jujitsu guys, they're kind of dead in the water, stuck doing solo drills and rolling around with their dummy, their grappling dummy.
No,
And
that's-
he's a stand-up fighter, this one, or she.
yeah, and the high tech. That's
Yeah, I know it's all wood, but it's the highest tech that wood gets,
right.
in reference to helping us humans to develop and attain such perfection as the angles that are represented here.
Yeah, it's amazing how different it is from when I first saw someone use a mukyang or a wooden man. That so wrong. Now when I start to realize what it's for and what it does as far as structure, rather than just hitting the thing, I thought it was more of a punching bag before when I started.
Yeah,
15 years ago, but now, wow.
Yeah,
see the high tech aspect of it.
You know, I've always said that if you're small, even my size, really, you can hit that thing and develop some strength and density, I suppose, right? And I even say with small women or women or small statured men, such as myself,
Right.
that yeah, you know, especially in the beginning, doing mukjang will really kind of give you the conditioning. That's the word I want to use. Yeah. But after that, and then with guys that are pretty much big, you know, they kind of, you know, they're not really going to get that's best left to the sandbag. Right. Yeah. So this is more for getting your angles right, getting your connectivity and your structure in order and whatnot. With a little bit of training again, right? A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit of conditioning rather, right? But not as much as I think it's mistaken. It's mistakenly thought of, like you said, as a conditioning to arm conditioning, leg conditioning.
Yeah.
You know. So however, let's make it perfectly clear. If you're small, if you're a woman, that will definitely do that. That will definitely give you that conditioning that you need.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
But then you're going to take another level with these sandbag photo and the sandbag post. Yeah. So that's stuff that we'll also be putting links to for you if you're interested in purchasing these things. We don't have a link for you yet, but that's coming. And again, we're not going too fast with the links until we know that they're working in the affiliate program. Right. So slowly we're adding links down in the description of the stuff that we talk about here. Everything. Boy, yeah, the shirt, this t-shirt. No, this t-shirt though.
This one on the other hand.
That for sure. You can go to cfuzi.com, go to the merch section. It's one of the only things right now that is available from Teespring. Actually, we're farming that out to Teespring. It takes them a little while to get it out, but so far everybody's order seems to have arrived.
Yes.
Yeah. Old paradigm. So I always think old paradigm is pretty easy to peg. Old slave culture, 9 to 5 concept,
centralized power, the whole top down thing, maybe.
Those are fancy words. I wasn't approaching, but sure. Those words are fancier than where I was really? Going. Well,
fancy words.
What's that?
You usually have some fancy
I
words.
do really. Well, thank you. I don't imagine myself having much fancy words. But yeah, and I think a lot of people might think that game B or game A really is like corporations and stuff like that. But I don't know about that.
No.
I think corporations may be, you know, there may be aspects of corporations that will be intrinsic to game B. I don't know.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about game A and game B. Game A, you can pretty much define. It's almost it's been played out, right?
Right.
There's history there.
Yeah.
But game B is yet to be defined. It's still
No
being
one knows.
defined.
Yeah.
I think we're all becoming more and more aware of the transition, the lack of emphasis on transaction, Sifu's law,
Yeah.
transition over transaction. Yeah. I think that's becoming, here's another aspect that we were talking about in class yesterday. I'd like to repeat here is that, we have a say. We don't really have much of a say in game A. It's sort of a gravity matter, right? But game B, we probably have a decent amount of say,
right,
over game B. We can talk about it and sort of construct and manifest, the right thing.
It's up to all of us,
or at least attempt. But I think it must be understood that only to an extent, right? I mean, old paradigm, new paradigm. It's like evolution. You don't really have control over evolution. Evolution is just something that happens. And I think the same way with old paradigm, new paradigm, or game A, game B. Now, the good news is, at least in my opinion, able to assess over the years, and I'm in agreement with Steven Pinker because he sort of supports what I'm saying here, is that we have been in a upward spiral, an upward progression, essentially, right? It's not a straight line, but we have peaks and valleys, but the progression towards humanity being more just, being more humane, we continue in that trajectory. So that's at least from Steven Pinker's perspective. The data is what shows this to be true. Of course, news.
What happens now? Because right now it's looking a little dark.
Yeah, it is looking a little bleak. I think. I don't know. It's strange. It is strange to not see people out in the middle of the city.
Very quiet.
Quiet streets and quiet except for the riots. Quiet riot. Wow, man. Ooh, quiet riot, man. I wonder if that's a thing. I know it's a band, but I wonder if that's like a term used in reference to what we're talking about.
Have you been following what's going on lately?
I haven't.
Couple of days.
Only just little clips regarding again police brutality. That seems to be pretty game A kind of stuff.
Yeah, we don't need that.
It would be nice if that wasn't part of game B.
We never needed it, but that's enough already.
There's a lot of people. It seems like there are some officials divorcing themselves from Trump and whatnot. Surprise, surprise. Right. But there seems to be a great division and whatnot.
Election year.
Yeah. This is just a bad time for division. Bad time for competition and division.
2020 is quite a year so far.
And if it is any indication, then maybe that's what game A is, and it would be, again, the stuff I haven't, we're not the only ones talking game A, game B. I thought for a while that maybe Buckminster Fuller and a small handful of people were talking old paradigm, new paradigm stuff, but it seems like just the language changed a little bit. So now the common buzzword out there is game A, game B.
Yeah.
And as you know, I'm not quite sure how I feel about referring to life as a set of games.
Right.
But Buckminster Fuller did, and he's one of my faves. So, hey, if you're talking, when I think of game, I think of sports. That's why. But if you're talking game as in not sports,
right?
Yeah, I don't know. So at least I go on record saying that I know what you guys are talking about, old paradigm, new paradigm. Now you're saying game A, game B.
Right. It's more and more YouTube channels. So,
yeah. But I am skeptical regarding calling life game.
No, yeah.
That's weird. Let us know how you feel about that in the comments, referring to life as a game and whatnot. I mean, I don't know if it helps people to visualize a way out of, or visualize in order to problem solve.
Yeah.
Then
exactly.
I'm all for it. So these are, Casey Neistat. I turned you on to him. He's a vlogger on YouTube, probably one of the most famous ones. He had said something that caught my attention. I wouldn't tattoo it on my arm or anything, but he has said, these are kind of different times and nobody really knows what they're doing. So just do it. Just get out there and do it. Don't be intimidated by, the thoughts of, I don't know what I'm doing. Nobody knows what they're doing.
No, and it's easy to get intimidated now. Yeah, absolutely. No, I like that. It's good advice. What else?
I like the
sit
gist.
Around and wait.
Yeah.
And, just go out and do it.
I like the gist of it. I think, like everything, I think it's all in the details. And so when you approach stuff like that, I think you get the inspiration from it. But I think you also have to step back and look at the micro, right? And say, really, nobody knows what they're doing. I mean, I think that is true up to a point.
Right.
I think there's a lot of people out there that know what they're doing.
You start doubting a little bit what you're doing, perhaps.
Right. That's where I say I get the gist of what he's saying, which is, don't get paralysis through analysis. That's what they say. But at the same time, we are living in an era where really thinking things out effectively is important, if not life-saving.
Right.
You can't just go out there and just go do whatever, right? I think that might have been an error in a certain generation or two of thinking. Here's a good example, right? Words mean stuff. And there's an old saying. I see it on T-shirts. It's an adage, an axiom, I think is the one-liner. That is, anything is possible. Right? Anything is possible. If you look at that in the macro, if you don't look at that statement, then I think it's a nice, warm, fuzzy, perhaps inspirational sort of thing, But again, like I was saying, you have to kind of also now look at that statement and really be honest. If you really want to change and you really want to advance, then you have to sort of face a certain amount of honesty.
Oh, yeah.
And so The reality is the non-fuzzy version of that is no, there are certain things that aren't possible.
Right.
Or anything is possible. What did I say?
Oh, that's an old Muhammad Ali saying, right? Impossible is nothing. But anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Yeah. And so
never give up.
Yeah.
Ever, right.
And so I get the gist of that, right? And I think you probably get looked at like a jerk when you say, well, not really. Scientifically speaking, and then you get into arguments on the other side where they want to argue physics with you. It's like, oh man, come on. Now you went over too far on the other side. We're just trying to get a concept across that we can work with, right? And anything is possible. You may spend your whole life thinking that something is possible when it isn't, right? So I always like to say nothing is impossible. Recent understanding of physics and quantum physics, the concept of nothing is impossible, meaning it doesn't exist. There's always something, right? Maybe a quantum, a quark, there's something, a wave that transfers to matter, transforms into matter, vice versa. Matter transforming into wave. That's life disappearing, going back to the waveform, right? Yeah. This is a metaphor, but anyway. Nothing is impossible. You can say that and it would make at least current sense. Now you could argue the theory and whatnot, but it's a pretty common theory or
always something.
Yeah, that there's. Yeah, the Latin, the Greeks, no Latins, no. Who were the first ones? The
Persians,
not the Greeks, the Romans. The Latins. Who was Plato and all those guys? That was the Greeks, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Greeks.
Okay. They had the concept of the atom, the atom, and you know what that means?
Yeah, it's the undivided.
Can't be divided anymore. Right. Yeah.
And
so
consists of a neutron.
Proton. Well, that's prior to them knowing the components of an atom.
Right.
Yeah. The atom would be the smallest possible unit and undivided. And of course, that's not true, but we still use the term atom, but the term simply doesn't, it's not true.
Know how to split it.
Yeah. So, I mean, and just think of it. An atom is the smallest thing. We can't see an atom with our bare eye, right? You don't see atoms, right? And even that is divisible. So that's what they're talking about when they say there is no such thing as nothing, right? So, and I don't need to be an astrophysics or a quantum physicist to understand that concept, simply because of history, knowing in history that atom isn't the smallest thing. You can't see an atom, and even that isn't the smallest thing. It can even be divided into more things like quarks and muons and bisons and stuff like that.
That's more than I know.
Flavors. They got flavors. They got strangeness. They've got it's amazing how much they've been able. And Richard Feynman and whatnot has been able to break down the atom. Right. Where was that all going, man? Right? We're getting micro.
There's nothing. So it was something.
Right. So that's right. The axioms. Nothing is impossible isn't true, or at least doesn't even show any scientific examples of being true.
Mm.
It's more of a fuzzy, warm feeling of like, you break your leg and you're trying to walk again or whatever, right? Hopefully nothing worse than that. and you're really nothing is impossible. Come on, I can do this, right?
Right.
So, sure. Well, on that level. But if you're really serious about getting some work done, then I think paying attention to some details, such as your shallow motivation of nothing is impossible. Come on, just change the language and you'll be correct.
Right.
You'll be literally correct, which is nothing is impossible. I'm going to do this. Nothing is impossible, right? And now you're kind of bridging, you're chum queuing between the poetic and the scientific, not violating either of those things, not having such a massive violation of logic. Nothing is impossible, rather than any what.
Then rather than
anything is possible.
Anything's getting in there. Just do it.
Yes,
Do
and
it.
people will roll their eyes, go, "Man, oh my God, semantics."
Yeah.
Right. But again, there are times when semantics, it's like, come on now, right? So if you're looking for inspiration, then we're not trying to get on you there. I'm just trying to say, if you're looking for answers, then to kind of look at your one-liners and maybe refine them a little bit, saying, okay, nothing is impossible. And with that being the case, I'm going to use that as an emotional, motivation.
Right.
Yeah. A truism as motivation. Go figure.
Truism?
A truism. Yeah. Something that's actually true being used as a motivation, as opposed to some sort of fiction being used for motivation. Right. So sports is to me, like fictional motivation. Right. That's why I think scripted reality and shows got so popular. I mean, it was just a shoe-in, right, after the popularity of sports. Right. Sports in America and around the world. My God, the millions, if not billions, of money put into sports and arenas and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to offend anybody that's into that kind of thing out there, but
now they're all sitting empty. These arenas.
Yeah. Well, I've never gotten it. And hopefully they'll use those arenas for things like triages for the homeless and, make them pleasant places too.
Yeah.
Not like,
heard anything about it?
No, but man, a lot of this stuff, a lot of the like Buckminster Fuller brought this up. And now we're talking game B type stuff of getting people that were stuck in office buildings and paying them to go out and explore and discover in the world instead of being in an office, right? And to work, telecommunicate, teleworker, whatever you call it. And then get all the homeless people and people that are having problems and put them in the offices, because those places work more efficiently. Their plumbing works more efficiently. Their water systems work more efficiently. It's all there. It's all together. Right. And then of the people that you pay to go out and explore and discover, 1 out of 10 of them are pretty much guaranteed to be extremely productive and progressive. Mm-hmm. And the rest of the 9 will just screw off and be very unproductive. But this is all stuff that was researched by Buckminster Fuller, where he says, just pay people to stay home, or pay the people in the offices to go out and explore and innovate, and then use these office buildings and now I don't think he's ever talked about sport used for anything. Maybe he has, I don't know, but I
For
have.
office buildings, they would be more suitable.
Yeah, well, what would be great is get these sports arenas and also turn them into places that, because they're so big that they offer what a lot of crazy homeless people need, is just a sort of a big open place to wander around, but yet has, some basic resources like a shower and stuff,
Right.
but it's controllable. So you can, like, clean up after them. And it's all sort of contained within like a
Yeah.
stadium or
Right.
something. And they could almost see,
Well,
this is
set
where
up for big
this is where
crowds,
it
so-
gets weird, is you kind of make it so they can't get out of those places. Right. That doesn't sound very good, but
No.
but
What's
it
it
is a
sound- what does
solution.
it sound like?
It's a
Yeah.
solution. Yeah, if they're so crazy, they don't leave the block anyway, or a 10-block radius or something. And we're talking about a stadium that's huge. You could really make those beautiful and kind of very, ergonomic for people that can't stand indoors or to be contained or stuff like that, right?
Well,
I
I know
mean,
after Katrina, they put people up in stadiums.
yeah,
and
yeah,
kind of turn into
for
a
emergency
disaster.
stuff, yeah. And they have used those things
The
for
hygiene
that before.
and they could have controlled it then. Yeah.
But
But done the right way.
Well, if we don't get over this pandemic thing, then those places may very well turn into triages for the pandemic and for the homeless, for the unemployment and the homeless that are kind of the way. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unemployment rates. No.
Yikes. So I don't know. Hey guys, if you're out there, you're having a hard time, you're sort of concerned about this stuff. Hey, we hear you, and we'd like to hear from you. Let's talk about it. There are ways, right? But I tell you, I was talking about slow transitions from old paradigm to new paradigm. I have a funny feeling that that things are going to change quickly. Paradigms are going to be changing quickly. And if you don't have the skills and the mindset, then you could get hurt. You may perish. Yeah. That's my sense on this.
No, it's going to be very, very hard for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Mentally.
I'm sure it's already very, I've already noticed that on the social medias where you just can't push in certain directions anymore because it's just too much.
People are sensitive.
Yeah.
I'm not on the social, so I don't follow.
But it's rather unfortunate because I've lost probably a good friend or two just because of the stress involved, the additional, stresses of talking about sensitive subject matters, just pushes things over the edge.
Right.
Yeah. And, we don't mean to. I don't think anybody means to do that sort of thing. But at the same time, man, you gotta, you can't stop inquiry.
Right.
I think people are afraid that they'll be implemented as the problem or part of the problem. And the thing is we're all in, it's kind of corny, of course, but we're all in this together, right? If a pandemic teaches you anything, it's we're all in this together. And even the current crisis, the protests, right, with the Mr. Floyd, right? Again, that really is also a big sign of proving to us that we're all in this together, both consciously natured and nurtured. We are in this together,
No, without a doubt.
Yeah. I tell you, the lip service on that is great, but the action isn't. And so that's where if we can really act on that, you know, and do what's necessary, um, then there may be less suffering during these unstable transitional times. Right. These are unstable and very transitional times. We just need to keep the body count low, right? And right. The grief levels, unnecessary grief levels down, you know, if we can. Yeah. Again, this is just all my opinion. It seems like it makes sense as the words come out of my mouth. I don't know. Maybe it's all nonsense.
No, it's just the unknown.
The unknown. What's the unknown?
Well, the future.
Game B.
Of course, in Game B.
Yeah. Okay.
And now you said that Game B people, whatever you want to call them, are now also divided, right?
Yeah, that's right. People that initially rally together on one answer, then start to divide.
But
yeah.
A lot of people talk about decentralization of power, right? Those smaller communities.
Yeah. Yeah, that just seems so much of a buzzword. I mean, I'm sure there is such a thing as centralization of power and then decentralizing power. I understand that and I see that, but you know, when people say words like that, it just seems too gravity matter. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
it's like power. It's as if there's nothing we'll ever do about this great power that just keeps its nucleus gets stronger and stronger. You know, and I know that this is true, but it's when you're looking for answers and you keep referring to them, which is more of a gravity matter, which may, you know, the system might even eat itself. You know what I mean? I think it is eating itself. Yeah. What were you saying there?
Just gonna have to see what happens.
Have to see what happens. This is sort of wait, see what happens. Just get on the porch.
We're not really waiting. We're staying pretty busy.
Oil the shotgun.
But
kind of get on the rocking chair, oil the shotgun, stay on the porch. Go to
a lot of people are doing that now.
Yeah, I know. This is the preppers out there are really they're having their day. They're saying, see, we knew it was going to happen. Yeah. But man, we're still all too intrinsically connected in order for things to fall apart too badly. Us all not suffer. I mean, I think a lot of the prepper stuff is more of a Band-Aid. You know, you can't prep for biological warfare and germ warfare and nuclear warfare. And, you know, heck, if people got bombs and explosives, how do you even deal with that? You know, I mean, guns, okay, if somebody misses you from shooting at you, you might be able to duck, run, hide, maybe shoot back. But bombs, and then, you know, nuclear and biological. And now we got to say, okay, listen, y'all need to get smart. All right. Y'all need to get your emotions intact. Y'all need to raise your emotional intelligence and sort of embrace logic and reason a little more. Abstraction is just, you know, you might have been benefited from your abstractions in game A, but yeah, they're starting to turn on you, you know. Yeah. And even if it's like you're living large, but there's a lot of people around you that are suffering, they're going to turn on you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's just simple, man. It's a very simple, complex situation. You know, I think that there's, I always think of that in the terms of first principles, you know, things that are just true, first principles. You can look that up, Google first principles. Elon Musk, I believe, made it pretty popular on his maybe a TED talk talking about first principles. But we have first principles. That's what Wing Chun is about, is that first principle. But it's instead of being first principles regarding the universe or nature, physics, this is first principles regarding human physiology and human psychology, even first principles. Right. So as long as you have the first principles as a foundation, understanding, you can always go back to the first principles and rebuild whatever you're thinking about to make sure that it's solid. Right. In other words, things in your thinking or your life or whatever might get so complex that you start doubting and wondering what's up. So you go back to your first principles and make sure all the dots are connected and that you haven't missed something that's going to really be detrimental.
That's what you've been teaching me.
Yeah. It's huge, right?
Yeah.
So
it's helping me keep myself together, my stuff together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it does, it's funny. Sometimes I think one of the main proofs here is that sometimes our brains really can see the big picture or a good portion of the big picture, and we can connect the dots, but not all the time. Not all the time. And so, you have to just accept that and not throw away the fact that there is clearness and there is clearness.
But that's a big one.
There's just be confident knowing and try to be conscious of that clearness of vision. But just understand that it's not necessarily something you can maintain 24/7, just as long as you get enough that you keep developing your skills, your comprehension of what it is. And then eventually your communication of it, because that's how we make sure it works.
Right.
Kind of scientific method, make sure that other people say, that works. We get to run this through past each other and criticize and ask questions regarding. But the first principle is what keeps us grounded, because it's very simple, very basic. You can't argue first principles. Right. It's the stacking of principles and the complexities that people tend to be able to argue, because people miss stuff.
Yeah.
So, but if you keep referring to the first principles and then climb up, you get so familiar with the ladder that when a rung is missing.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That might be a good analogy to leave on. Hey, thanks for being here with us on Wing Chun Talk. I know this doesn't quite sound necessarily like martial art kung fu talk, right? Because we're not talking about beating each other up and beating other people up.
Right.
But it very much is part of our Wing Chun, and we try to bring this sort of these concepts into our physical practice as well, which we'll be doing in about 20 and get ready for class. But if this stuff interests you, then I think that Wing Chun would just be a really good fit, at least the Wing Chun that we train in and our approach, my approach, your guys' approach. Now, you guys have all been training with me for a while now. So
your approach.
And it's not that my approach, I'm just continuing the tradition. Itman is known as a gentleman's art, an intellectual's art. Right. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And we're relating the current intellectualism of our day and relating it to our Wing Chun practice, which is actually very traditional. Right. It carries the tradition of Wing Chun.
Yeah.
So Wing Chun it's not an archive, which I think a lot of martial arts are. And that's not I'm not putting you down, those things down. I think they're very important. Those archives are very important, but Wing Chun is a synthesis of everything that came before it, which is all the martial arts essentially.
Right.
Right. And it's a living, breathing martial art still.
Yeah.
It's still very relevant, perhaps very relevant.
Yeah.
To our times, specifically to these times. So again, if you want to learn more, you go to cfuz.com. You can join us for as little as $1 over at patreon.com/cfuz. And if you want to contribute to this show and the other radio show called Integrity Radio,
Yes.
That is, so if you want to hear more talking, but we kind of maybe stray away a little further from Wing Chun,
right,
in Integrity Radio. We stray a little further. Yeah, we go into other topics.
Never know.
There's definitely a lot of my music and stuff that's on there, but you could find that over at anchor.fm/integrity. You could also find these links on the cfuz.com site. And if you would like to make a one-time contribution for any amount, you can do that over at paypal.me/cfuz.
Yep.
And we're going to find out if you have to spell Cfuz, capital S, lowercase IFU, uppercase Z, all one word. PayPal.me/Cfuz. So I'm going to say so much there. Yeah. But certainly come train with us. In fact, you can train with us for no money at all. You just go over to the site, rather cfuz.com or Patreon. And we have a lot of content for you to train with.
Right.
Yeah. And then you can get involved on any level. Even if you just want to get a little toe, your little pinky toe, dip it in, see what's up.
Yep.
You can do that. Right. There's no obligation. We're really happy to be able to train, to bring this to the world. Right. And share our passion. Yeah. Yeah. That's our main thing. But if you want to join us in that passion, you can get a t-shirt. That's over at the merch section. Right. And that's it, guys. I think that's it. Yeah. We'll tell you a little bit more about this, and we're going to kind of introduce more and more of the gear that we're using here. So you guys get a good idea of how you might want to be able to set up something for yourself. Again, this stuff isn't just it's not just for Kung Fu anymore. No. Right. I mean, everybody is communicating by way of this. Right. Maybe not doing their own podcast, but learning and talking, hangouts, just having fun. Playing music, right, dancing, stuff like that. So so there's no reason why you can't do some Kung Fu. Some good old Wing Chun Kung Fu right here at cfuz.com. All right, guys. We'll see you next episode, and stay safe out there. Yeah. Aloha. All right. Take care.